Yeah, we're going to move on. We got a couple news stories.
That we do.
I want to take a minute to mention the guys from Monday Night Raw, the front row seaters.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Ric Flair, and many others. There's 11 or 12 of them, all in awesome WWE gimmick costumes. And partway through the show, the WWE security made them go to the back, change into WWE t-shirts.
Yeah.
And come back out because apparently they were being too distracting.
Yeah, the guy who I'm guessing
Put on better fucking matches, WWE. If you don't want the people in the front row to be more entertaining than your product, put on better matches.
On top of that, the guy who I'm pretty sure he was the one that was dressed as Ric Flair. He was the one that bought the tickets for him and all of his friends. Specifically said that we weren't, they weren't doing anything that was distracting. I didn't even realize that they were there, to be completely honest.
I noticed like 2 of them in costume, and the rest of them completely to me were like superfluous. Like,
yeah.
I didn't notice.
I noticed Ric Flair because he was wearing the pink robe.
Yeah, I noticed off the bat. I noticed Paul Bearer and IRS.
And I noticed Ric Flair and Ultimate Warrior, just because they were wearing the brightly colored outfits and everything.
To me, what bugs me about this is you get people dressed as the wrestlers all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. Almost every Raw or SmackDown you see, you're going to get some Hogan or Ultimate Warrior or Undertaker impersonator.
I think every show we've gone to, there's been at least 2 or 3.
Yeah. Just because, these guys were in the front row on the hard camera side, I don't care. It's freedom of expression. WWE, don't be Nazis.
Yeah.
And, on that same note, there's a story that they were taking... I heard took a sign, but probably more if...
they are notorious for taking signs.
Well, if it played out the way I think, took a Daniel Bryan sign because they had enough already.
Yeah.
Are you passing out Daniel Bryan signs?
Like, we've had enough Daniel Bryan signs, so we're going to take this because we don't need more Daniel Bryan signs popping up in the crowd.
I'm going to take 4 Daniel Bryan signs to WrestleMania.
Just hand them out. So yeah, I mean, it's a thing. I understand they have their reasons for doing it, but at the same time, it's a stupid reason. The
reasons are bullshit.
Yeah.
Stop it.
These guys paid over $1,000 to watch Monday Night Raw. They were having a good time. Didn't distract anyone from whatever was happening at the point in time, and they were forced to have less fun because you didn't like what they were wearing.
Yeah. Yeah,
so shame on you guys. And then we have news about one Jimmy Jacobs.
Yes, Jimmy Jacobs is, we saw him about a month or so ago. He was one of the Rosebuds coming out with Adam Rose. Apparently he is getting ready to sign with WWE to be on the creative team. He's expected to finish up his ROH shows with Supercard of Honor, which is coming up this weekend. That's supposed to be his last show, and then he should be signing with WWE. And so we're going to have a very ingenious indie wrestler on the creative team for WWE.
Yeah, Jimmy Jacobs has been around the block a lot of times, and he's still really young. He started very young.
Yeah.
So it's going to be good to have a fresh mind and somebody who's been around a long time. I hope he writes for NXT. I hope if he's going to be on the creative team, I hope he's on the creative for NXT because he knows a lot of the people there.
Yeah,
absolutely. And he's going to be able to know how to capitalize on people like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, based off of what he's seen them do, while working on shows together in Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
And to me, it's an exciting prospect.
Just the idea of having a wrestler other than Triple H on the creative team is exciting because you know that you're not going to get that. You're not going to get the business side of it. You're going to get that. Hey, this is what I've seen works. This is what I think. I've been in this type of situation. Let's see how we can translate it. You're going to get a bunch of brand new ideas, which is what WWE has been needing for a very long time.
Yeah, like WWE's got mostly TV writers But, like, I don't know, I guess shitty TV writers, because they're not really writing good, like, fucking TV.
Other than, like, the last couple weeks leading up to WrestleMania, it's been a lot of shit.
Yeah, you get...
Shut up. Shut up, shut up, shut up.
Stop it, you.
We're not done talking yet.
You get the TV writers, when they come in, they write their stuff. But like I said, they're TV writers, they're not sports entertainment writers, they're not WWE writers. You know, it's the main reason why WCW went downhill so fast is they were bringing in people to manage the company that had no idea anything about wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
if you're bringing in guys who are writing, you know, reality shows and soap operas and comedy sketch bits and stuff like that for a living, and you expect them to try and come in and just immediately go into writing a wrestling show, you're not going to get a fit every time.
Well, yeah, unless they're wrestling fans.
Right. Also,
I mean, then you get that combination of, hey, I know what I want to see on wrestling, plus I know how to get across this idea, or get across this joke, or something like
else that I read, I don't remember where I read it, so I don't remember if this is like a theory or fact, but it makes sense and probably happens. Like, they have so many writers that, like, say I'm writing, like, this fucking phenomenal Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler storyline that has great build-up, great payoff, but I'm having to do this every Raw and SmackDown. And then, you know, I get sick and don't show up for this Raw. Well, now someone else has to write that segment. And they don't give a fuck about Daniel Bryan or Dolph Ziggler, so they just, you know, come up with some bullshit. Like, you guys got 5 minutes to go out there and fucking have a dance-off.
Yeah.
Or whatever bullshit they do. Because I want to put over my shit that I've been working on forever. You know, it's too many writers just stepping on each other's toes a lot of the times, too.
Yeah.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah. And then, not enough consistency.
But this comes from I think, also stems from the fact that these are TV writers used to writing for, like, well, this is the main character. This is the character that I'm writing for. So if we have everyone trying to treat their guy like a main character, all these segments are gonna just get bogged down, especially by, like, the actual main characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now we got some other people who we hear are close to signing with WWE.
Yeah.
Being Samoa Joe and the Briscoes.
Yeah, Samoa Joe, it was revealed after his podcast with Chris Jericho from a couple weeks ago that he has been in talks with WWE. And it's looking like he's going to finish up with Ring of Honor at Supercard of Honor. And then he's got a few more independent shows in April. And he's expected to be signing with WWE and debuting on NXT probably towards the middle to the end of the spring. So
that's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the way they've treated the last couple guys coming in, I'm super stoked to see Samoa Joe.
The fact that his timetable seems to be coming up so fast.
Yeah.
You know, it gives you to that point where, okay, this guy is such an established name. Because you get a couple guys who came in and they sat around in developmental for a little while before they get to come up and debut.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we're expecting to see Samoa Joe get signed and debut within the year for him to actually make his debut, says a lot for how fast they're going to bump up, you know, this guy who they know already is a draw to so many wrestling fans around the world. In Japan, TNA fans, Ring of Honor fans. It's going to be a good cap for Ring of Honor, or for NXT.
Yeah. Also,
Bad cap for Ring of Honor.
It is, and another terrible thing for Ring of Honor is that the Wrestling Observer is speculating that the Briscoes are expected to be in NXT by midsummer.
Yeah, let's do that.
So, I think in July, maybe early August, we can see the Briscoes.
This one, I'm a lot more iffy about.
Yeah.
Just because it's a Wrestling Observer expects it to happen. It's definitely a lot less of a thing because, you know, we know of Samoa Joe because that's word of mouth.
Right.
Yeah.
He came out and said it to Jericho.
Right, unless Jericho just completely lied about that, which I did.
I think we would have seen Joe say something if Jericho just was talking out of his ass.
Or if, like, after the podcast, Joe's like, hey, tell him I'm assigned with WWE.
Just fuck with him.
But for me, I want to see the Briscoes in WWE, sort of.
It'd be super toned down.
Just to see, okay, one of the guys one of the teams I really like. Oh, they made it to the big times.
They'd have them do promos, but like they'd bleep out the whole. Like you just get the like the videos of them standing backstage, and then we just hear just a big old long series of bleeps.
No, I mean, that's the thing though, is their style is so much better suited for the indies.
Yeah.
There are some guys who, like, awesome, they're going to come to WWE, they're going to fit. But, it's kind of like the idea when Kevin Owens came in. A lot of people were nervous because he's a very super aggressive style wrestler. Mm-hmm. The Briscoes is like having two redneck Kevin Owenses together at the same time.
That's terrifying.
So I'm hoping for the sake of Ring of Honor and the indie scene in general that the Briscoes actually stay out of WWE.
Yeah, no, they definitely missed their window to fit into the WWE mold after WWE with PG.
Yeah. And they do get over aggressive sometimes, which would benefit them, but I don't feel like they'd be anywhere near that spot. And would get that time to really be who they are.
Yeah.
They'd be...
Well, these would be two guys who I picture they'd hold off debuting for a while, just because of that, like needing to work out the kinks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's...
But, good for the Briscoes if they get signed.
Yeah, I mean, it's more money.
I'm not going to say no to see the Briscoes in WWE. I'm worried what they'll be...
In my mind, that's the measure of a truly good wrestler, is if, like, okay, you've been doing this thing for so long, see if you can do this other thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you reinvent yourself to fit where you're going now? If you can, then you have it.
Yeah.
But for all that, we'll have to wait till the summer. That's it for news story. We are going to move on to some upcoming events.
Yeah, we got some. You got Ring of Honor.
Want me to do mine first?
Thingy?
Yes.
Supercard of Honor?
Yes. Thingy.
AKA Thingy.
Yes. In Redwood City, California, March 27th, 2 days before WrestleMania, Ring of Honor is putting on a Supercard of Honor. We've got
we're going to be watching NXT.
It will be... We'll be at Access while it's going. So, we've got... we got 6 matches worth so far. So, not sure if more is going to be added. We do have another week before the show actually happens. But so far, we have Christopher Daniels taking on Roderick Strong. For the first time ever, we have Frankie Kazarian taking on Michael Elgin. We have BJ Whitmer taking on Jimmy Jacobs. Then we get into some title matches where Red Dragon will be defending against The Kingdom. Jay Lethal will be defending the ROH TV title against Jushin Thunder Liger.
Wow.
And Jay Briscoe will defend the ROH World Championship against Samoa Joe.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I like Joe is in the title picture already. Jushin Liger making an appearance for Ring of Honor. Big deal.
Yeah, no other big names set to appear yet, but I'm sure next week when we do Indie News, we'll probably have a fairly big list of other people that are expected to show up.
Yeah, and again, this is a tentative card so far. I remember when we watched the anniversary show, there were like 2 other matches that weren't announced.
Yep.
That were just added because, that happens. Filler matches happen.
Yep.
Because they're like, oh, hey, we announced 6 matches, but that's not going to take up 3 hours.
Absolutely.
Other shows we got coming up this weekend, the 20th to 21st. First on the 20th, AIW's Gauntlet for the Gold. I'm super excited. I know a lot of the guys from AIW are super excited. Kingston posted about it on Facebook. Ricky Shane Page taking on Too Cold Scorpio.
That's going to be a good one.
Too Cold Scorpio, man, is a fantastic worker, and, he's only gotten better with age.
Yep.
Which I appreciate. We also have Johnny Gargano versus Raymond Rowe
Yes.
booked. And then the Gauntlet for the Gold, the 20-man, basically Royal Rumble style match. Winner gets a guaranteed title shot. We know a couple of people already signed for it. Joshua Singh, Alex Daniels, AIW regulars, Ethan Page, Josh Alexander, Eddie Kingston, Candice LeRae, Eric Ryan, Josh Prohibition, Davey Vega, Chris Sabin, Tyson Ducks, Veda Scott. So, yeah, there's like 12 announced already, and then we're going to have some more surprises probably. The next night, we're going to have AAW, not too far away, and it's Epic, their 11-year anniversary show. Already announced, Eddie Kingston defends the AAW title against Silas Young. Ohio's for Killers defend the tag team titles against Zero Gravity. And there's going to be a blindfold match between Dick Justice and Gregory Iron.
That'll be fun.
Hopefully it's not in a cage.
Yeah. And then we got something I just found out, that later in April, on the 26th, Beyond Wrestling is going to be doing 2 shows on the same day.
Okay.
Scorned at 2 p.m. and then a couple hours later, 6 p.m., they start When Satan Rules His World.
Oh.
So they're doing 2 shows. From what I get, it's going to be from the same location. So I'm curious what's going on here. But no matches announced yet. The Facebook event picture has the Young Bucks on it, so I'm assuming the Young Bucks are going to make their return to Beyond Wrestling, which is cool. Young Bucks, love the Young Bucks wherever they go.
Double tag champions right now.
Yeah, too sweet me. Alright. But then on the 3rd of April, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, one of our favorite guys, Don't Sweat the Technique, ACH versus Tommaso Ciampa, Biff Busick versus Brian Cage, Speedball Mike Bailey versus Trevor Lee, the Monster Mafia takes on Chris Sabin and Matt Sydal, Andrew Everett versus Ricochet, Tommy End versus Chris Hero, the World's Cutest Tag Team versus the Beaver Boys in a non-tag title match, and Roderick Strong defends the PWG World Championship against Zack Sabre Jr.
That's going to be a great one.
Yeah, I'm super looking forward to that. And then we got some big updates on the Chikara's United Kingdom Tour. They're going to Wolverhampton, England, Cardiff, Wales, and London, England, in that order. So on the 3rd, they're going to be at the Wolf Run Hall in Wolverhampton for British Eyes Only, is the name of the show, not just only British people can see this show.
Yeah.
You can buy it wherever you're at.
Yeah, absolutely.
But right now we have 3 matches announced.
Well, you can buy it wherever you're at, but you can only see it if you have British eyes. If you don't, you'll just like see.
You have to buy like special British glasses
Yeah,
if
that
you don't
sucks.
have British eyes.
Yeah.
Do they come with a DVD?
Yes. No.
Outside of Britain, but it's like an extra shipping fee.
Yeah.
I'll pay for it. Chikara.
No, there's 2 matches signed with this. We know that I'm guessing COTI implications on this one. Dasher's Dugout members, Dasher Hatfield, Mr. Touchdown Icarus, are taking on 3 to-be-determined members of the Nightmare Warriors. My guess, Hollowicked, Frightmare, and Silver Ant.
Ooh. No love for Oleg? Or is it
No, Blind Rage.
Oh.
Is on the Nightmare Warriors.
Yeah, that's confused.
And then Soldier Ant versus Eddie Kingston is going to be taking place. So that's going to be a really hard-hitting match. The next night, they're going to still be at the Wolf Run Hall in Wolverhampton, England. But for the show, Let Them Eat Cake. So I'm hoping there's cake involved. But we know there's going to be a, I'm guessing, 10-person tag team match. The Colony and...
Cake on a table match.
Ooh. I'm all for cake involved any kind of matches. Team NRG and the Colony facing off against Hollowicked, Frightmare, and the Devastation Corporation.
That's a big match.
Amasis versus Prakesh Sabar. I'm saying that might be COTI implications, Battle Hive versus the United Nations. And we know that the it's going to be the first match COTI for the Gentlemen's Club. The 4 of them are going to be in the UK, ready to take on the Arcane Horde, Ultraman S. Black, the Batiri, and Oleg the Usurper. The next night on the 5th, Peer Pressure from the Masonic Hall in Cardiff, Wales. The Nightmare Warriors versus the Battle Hive, teams undecided whether it's going to be singles, tag, trios, or atomicos. We also know that there's going to be a Four Corners tag team match. The Ice Creams versus the Gentlemen's Club, represented by Chuck Taylor and Drew Gulak. The United Nations, undetermined team, and the Wrecking Crew, Jaka and Oleg. And that on that night, the Campeones de Parejas are going to be on the line. Team NRG tries to dethrone the current champions, the Devastation Corporation.
I'm going for NRG.
And then lastly, in London, England, at the Garage, Afternoon Delight on the 6th of April, we know that the United Nations versus the Battle Hive, teams undetermined. Eddie Kingston versus Oleg the Usurper in one-on-one action. And Icarus defends the Grand Championship against Hala Wicked, a Gen 1 championship match. A lot of history between these two guys. Used to be tag team partners back when Chikara first started.
Yep.
Both trainers. Hala Wicked's a head trainer at the Wrestle Factory now. So I mean, a lot of stuff going on here, and should be a really good match.
Absolutely.
Between these two. That's it for what I got for upcoming events. So do all this stuff down here.
Yep.
You're probably tired of hearing that spiel at the end of every episode. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to do it anyways.
Well, if you all do it, we want to keep saying it.
Yeah, right. Like, favorite, subscribe. You have an Instagram.
I do.
Right? We've got Tumblrs. We got Reddit. Emails.
Let us know down in the comments what you think about the 5 matches not to miss. We're not surprised if you missed them anyway.
5 matches not to miss. Kind of.
Miss edition.
Yeah, 5 matches that you can miss if you want to. We won't get mad if you do.
Be sure to go to last week's and check out the 5 intergender matches. And next week we have WrestleMania matches. So lots of 5 matches coming up. Be sure to check out the other videos in the playlist. We got the SmackDown Rundown coming up. We got Fantasy Warfare results earlier. We got the Raw review. And we have the midweek wrap-up with an epic casket match for Lucha Underground. So be sure to check that out.
Stay tuned. Upcoming SmackDown Rundown.